Transurfer, and welcome to TransurfingTV. I am Renee Garcia, and today my video on why importance messes us up so bad. This is not going to be so much a video on dropping importance, but more so what holding on to importance does to our lives, our health, our realities, our trajectory, our opportunities. This is the biggest one for me. But before I get into it, remember to like this video and comment below. My world is taking care of me to enter my daily giveaway for some of my reprogramming stickers. I'm realizing now as I'm looking at myself in the camera, my hair is officially out of control. I don't think I've had a haircut in 4 months, so sorry guys if I'm like fiddling with my hair here. It's getting out of control, y'all. So with that, okay, importance is MF, right? I mean, this is kind of what Vadim Zeland really boils everything down to in this massive book here, on top of obviously taking action. I like to say that I can sum up the book in one single word, and that word is action, right? But also it really is about lowering your levels of importance. I don't like to say dropping importance so much anymore, simply because I think that it's kind of not really obtainable. It's not, dropping importance on something entirely is a little bit far-fetched. We're always going to have levels of importance about everything that human beings have importance about: love, money, opportunities, fun, adventure, children, for women, all, everything that humans have a propensity to place importance on. Even as transurfers, we are going to have a certain level of importance about these things, but it's about keeping your importance levels lower so you do not experience what you do not want in your reality. So the first thing I would like to state before I really begin, because I didn't write it on the board here and I don't want to forget, this is something that I have learned in my 5 years of reality transurfing that has absolutely served me beyond anything when it has to do with importance. And that thing is that having importance around a particular thing, right? Becoming something, having something, wanting somebody to treat you in a specific way, wanting to do something, whatever it is, having importance levels is not going to make a difference in that thing playing out or not. In fact, as we know, it often creates excess potential, which brings in balancing forces that make it even more challenging for us to achieve the thing. This is exactly why law of attraction fails so many people. So elevated importance levels is not going to help you. It does not make the difference of you either having something or not having something. So if you lower those importance levels initially, it's really going to just help you more if you really are intending to have the thing. Okay, so now to get started. The first thing that I like to say is that, okay, so I've drawn this here, this diagram. This is you, and this is the alternative space, right? And of course, we have our linear life tracks, if you like to view it the way that I view it in my mind. Linear life tracks are lifelines that contain all of the things and the different variations of what we want in our realities as human beings, right? So we have the alternative space, which is limitless. And this is where we connect with a variation of reality that we materialize as transurfers, bringing that reality, that ideal version of reality into our material world. Okay, so obviously all the best stuff is at the top in my little diagram, adventure. I mean, it's sprinkled throughout all everywhere. I mean, all this stuff can be found on any life track, different variations of it, different, versions of it, different amounts of it, a good relationship, a bad relationship, a good job, a bad job, all that stuff. It's infinite, limitless in nature, and it contains everything and every variation of what it is that you want to have. Okay, so we have this space that we have access to as humans. We have access to this in a number of different ways. The first way is obviously just connecting with different things via our thoughts, our actions, and our frequency. We also have a connection at night, as Vadim tells us in the book, with the dream world, the dream realm, that our soul is sort of flying through space and we're able to connect with different versions of, events, or connect with things that we haven't actually connected with in our waking life. Okay, so what importance does exactly? What importance does is it causes you to focus in on one specific version of something on one specific life track and excludes all the other variations, all the other ways that you could connect with that thing on another life track. So let's say, and I put this one here because I've actually had a lot of people asking me questions about this lately, like, I think it's because, and it says certain treatment or understanding from other people, or people's behaviors matching up with what you expect of them. So it's really the human to human sort of connection. I've gotten a lot of people, and I think simply because we're so confined and our importance about other people's actions or attitudes is rubbing people the wrong way, right? So there's a lot of importance about that, and people are suffering. So this is a good example. So when you have importance around your spouse acting a particular way, a parent acting a particular way, a child, a friend, whatever, you focus in on this and you sort of make this the forefront in your mind. Your mind is paying attention to this thing, and therefore it's limiting all of your other options that are available to you. So what are some of the things that we have importance on? Obviously, love, money, adventure, fun, hooking up or connecting romantically with a specific person. Some women feel their biological clocks ticking, so they have importance around having children. A particular event, right? So things that we typically want to be, have, or do. Okay, so when we really latch on to this, whatever it is, this thing that we want to be, have, or do, we limit our connection to the alternative space. We limit our ability to transfer lifelines. Because if you're focused on your husband isn't treating you the right way, or your parents are pissing you off, or your best friend is acting, some way that you don't like, and this is bothering you, you are excluding so much other stuff. It's kind of ridiculous. So letting go of importance surrounding a particular thing is going to open you up more greatly to the alternative space. The other thing that it does, it stops you entering the alternatives flow. So remember my drawing that I draw all the time, that the person clinging on to that rock in the river, and that rock signifies something that you're holding on to via importance levels, and you don't let go, but if you were to let go, you would float into the alternatives flow, where many more opportunities for things exist in that river that you could have access to. So oftentimes when we have importance loaded up on something, we are clinging onto that rock, and again, we are limiting our access to the alternative space and the alternatives flow. The third thing that happens, pendulums get you and they keep you. Okay, so here's the thing with importance and pendulums. we get hooked into pendulums via importance levels. So let's say somebody's got a bunch of importance right now on politics or the media. They don't like the way that the political things playing out in the US or anywhere else in the world, right? So it's the same thing. You're holding on to something, right? Your mind is being occupied by something other than you seeing signs, you seeing other opportunities, you seeing other information and material and evidence possibly to support a better, higher theory about your life and your trajectory to a higher lifeline. So when these pendulums get you and you've declared that something's important, I don't want to see whatever, Trump continue to be president, or I don't want to wear a face mask, or I don't want to, whatever it is, you are keeping that thought in your mind that's going to occupy a certain amount of your mental space and free energy that is going to hinder your ability to connect more with this stuff. The good stuff, right? So this is what I like to say. Either you get your energy for you, or a pendulum gets its energy for its own purpose. If a pendulum is getting its energy, your energy for its own purpose, then you are not able to venture out into this space, the alternative space, in a greater way, okay? Also, importance levels, let's say you watch the news and something popped out and you didn't like it, and you're thinking about this in your mind. This is going to limit your ability to see signs in your external reality because, again, you are existing in your inner screen having thoughts about something that you don't want, and it will limit your ability to tune into your external environment to see signs, which is obviously right in line with the alternatives flow and the alternative space. So what do? You start the habit of truly observing. This is key. First, which pendulums have hooked onto you via importance levels? This is like Reality Transurfing 101. And if you're not aware of what pendulums have you right now in this moment, then you've got a lot of work to do. Dee, one of our cherished Facebook group members, just texted me a couple days ago and she's like, hey Renee, I just wanted to let you know I'm texting you from my cell. I am no longer on Facebook. I deleted my Facebook account. And obviously we love our transurfing community, right? We love connecting through social media. But if you have a lot of importance on the scroll and keeping up with people's messages to an extent that it's hindering your ability to venture into this space, it may be time for you to take a social media cleanse as well. And of course, I mean, not a lot of influencers are gonna tell you this because they want your attention and your energy, right? But I will tell you this. If you are spending too much time on social media, unplug it, limit your time on it, start managing it a little bit better. So again, which pendulums have you hooked in via your importance levels? 2, pay attention to your energy levels. This is the same thing. If you do not have the energy, because pendulums are getting that energy from you for their own purpose, you are not going to have the energy to execute on stuff that you see in your external environment that is going to help you connect to a higher, better version of yourself, and obviously a higher and better version life track as well. And 3, this is my final tip, pay attention to your level of awareness about your environment. Again, pendulums via importance. They take up our thoughts, right? We keep that going in our minds and we become asleep to our environments, both our external environment and our internal environment of how things are flowing and functioning in a direction of a higher version of you. So before we end, and I know this is kind of a long one, guys, I want to give you a really quick example of something that happened to me personally, and it'll show you exactly how I am managing my importance levels so I stay connected to this to a greater extent. So my boyfriend right now has his own business going. He quit his job of 20 years and he is on a path of entrepreneurship, and he just launched his first product, right? He has very, very little time and he's very occupied in his life. So he has come to me on a number of occasions and apologized for not giving me so much attention or energy. And quite frankly, maybe at the very, very, very beginning of this journey with him and these certain parts of our relationship shifting around, maybe I did notice, but I very quickly managed my importance levels about needing to see him give me a certain level of energy or attention. So when he came to me this morning and said, "Oh, sweetheart, I'm so sorry that I haven't been giving you so much attention. I realize that I'm really immersed in what I'm doing and I feel really bad." And I said to him, "You know what? I don't really even recognize it, right? Because I know that if I'm focused on my boyfriend not giving me enough attention, that's going to occupy my mind. I'm going to make it a thing. I'm going to go down that rabbit hole and spin out of control and be hurt and all that stuff. Or I can simply, whatever, it is what it is. He'll give me attention at a certain point, but why am I going to injure my life right now, my energy, my life track, my trajectory, my ability to connect with all this awesome stuff over this thing?" So in just taking that thing and lowering my levels of importance to the extent where I don't even realize it, this is the key. It keeps me tuned into this, and it keeps me tuned out of losing my thought energy and my meta power to something that really isn't of much importance at all. You know, and it's getting back to it. It's only really important if we deem it important. Otherwise, you know, it's just not important. And the last thing I'll say about it is this, getting all the way back to the original part of my video, me having importance around the levels of attention or energy my boyfriend is giving me is not going to actually make the situation better. So in acknowledging that simple thing, it just releases, and it's awesome, and I love it. And I hope that you can take some of these tips and adopt them a little bit more and realize how your importance levels are actually harming you and your reality today. So remember to like this video and comment below "My world is taking care of me" to enter my daily giveaway for some of these. And don't forget the Teachable course, guys. Link below. Bye.